to they heart and then chop them right up. Yup, I'm nuts, I leave their guts, these sucks are not safe. Razor blade, cause they face through my actions of hate. Yes, I'ma rape them, yes, I'ma take them down to my cellar where I start to mutilate them. Bake them in my oven, man, I love the smell of burning flesh just as much as I love to look in their eyes when they take their last breath. Death is beautiful, murder is an art. Cut a hole in their chest, exposing their heart. Body parts scattered all over my house in piles. I'll take the razor blade and give them a permanent smile. Slice their face open wide like mine, then I'll drag the blade down the spine. As it pierces their back, my mind starts to snap. I can't help but laugh. I don't wanna spit that stupid shit like you. I'd rather kill you all and do the things you do. So if you didn't notice, then you better know this. All I really know is that it's my psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. Hey yo, this town is so hopeless. You're under hypnosis. I'm back from the dead, bitch, with a swarm of locusts. So focus, don't you ever know this? All I really know is that it's my psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. That's my slogan. They dropped you like I was Hogan. Let's do you like a shogun. Open scope on you hosing. Catch you when you be dozing. Half you players be posing, hoping we didn't notice. Maybe it's my psychosis, or is that bitch the grossest hoe that you've ever seen? Why is she on your team? Fuck the whole hardcore scene. Skanky ass drama queen. There's nothing left to me but a simple melody. Really need some therapy. Wish I could follow. I don't wanna spit that stupid shit like you. I'd rather kill you all and do the things you do. So if you didn't notice, then you better know this. All I really know is that it's my psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. You are now about to witness sickness on another level. Sixes carved the skin, blooded business mixed in by the devil. Holy water suffering, this nightmare creeps into my dreams. Screams of burning corpses is the only thing that darkness brings. Olanzapine, I got them. Suprazidone, I got them. Antipsychotics in my veins, I think my brain is rotten. I hear the voices saying they like the choice I'm making. Flush your prescriptions down the toilet, you don't need to take them. You ain't the one that's crazy, they've all just lost the way. Pick up the nearest, sharpest object, make them all afraid. Nobody listen, pays attention, fucking kill them all. Chemical imbalances, welcome to the murder ball. A padded cell of hell is where I spend eternity. Unless I purge the whole world, then it's a certainty. No more time to think, it's time to get it done. But I gotta see my shrink, it's almost 10 to 1. I don't wanna spit that stupid shit like you. I'd rather kill you all and do the things you do. So if you didn't notice, then you better know this. All I really know is that it's my psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. I don't wanna spit that stupid shit like you. I'd rather kill you all and do the things you do. So if you didn't notice, then you better know this. All I really know is that it's my psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis. My psychosis.
What's good, everyone? True Patriot here, also known as CC2 Arms, also known as Heath, also known as Volunteer Agriculture, True Living Organics, also known as the motherfucker that does not give a fuck. I'm that man that your fucking parents warned you about. I'm that boogeyman that hides under your fucking bed. I'm that son of a bitch that peeks in your fucking windows and scares the shit out of you. Why? Well, it's simple, folks. I'm that motherfucker that dares you, has the audacity to encourage you to open your fucking mind. You see, you live in a world where every single aspect of every single thing you know has been steered, engineered, put in place a concise way. A way to get you to believe things for a certain reason at a certain time, for a certain purpose or a certain agenda. And generally, not 100%, but generally 99% of the time, that interest goes against what is in alignment with what's good for you. You know how many people in the world right now, they look at this fucking syringe or the bag of fucking illegal cannabis under my fucking bed. Left side, front corner, that's closest to the window of my bedroom. Yeah, that's right. I sit exactly where the goddamn shit is. They see it as a problem. So they have cultured all sorts of fears. And they'll tell the idiots anything. You have a chemical imbalance. You have an attitude problem. You have an addictive personality. You have conditions. Sometimes this is true, but most often the case, even once an actual issue is determined, completely identified, we learn everything about it, what do? Do we treat what is wrong and fix the problem? No. No, we're fucking retarded. We instead attack what we perceive to be the symptom of the problem. You want evidence of this? How many of you out there right now know someone that is type 1 diabetic? How many of you know someone who has lost a limb or has some other medical impairment as a result of being type 1 diabetic? But yet, if someone like me tells you, well, considering diabetes is 100% treatable and curable 100% of the time, why the fuck are you still type 1 diabetic? That would make people label me as a zealot, a fucking an outcast, fucking just a conspiracy theorist, a fringe coop wearing, a fringe tinfoil hat wearing fucking idiot, without even doing 5 or 10 minutes of research. Here, let me quantify the statement I just made for you morons. I said that a type 1 diabetic is 100% curable 100% of the time. Here's why I said that. First, how does one become diabetic to begin with? Now, in the instance of type 1 diabetics, there are times, because see, when you're first born into this, whatever the fuck it is we're in right now, there are pieces of your genetic code which are remnants of the original genetic code from your parents, your grandparents. Hell, depending on whether or not you have dominant or recessive genes, you could have remnants of the genetic code from your great-great-great-grandparents. I digress. The point is that you can be born type 1 diabetic. And at some point, when you go to address that, they're going to address the symptoms of diabetes rather than the problem. See, because if we were going to truly address the problem, what we would do is first we would eliminate complex sugars from your diet entirely. Now, don't get me wrong. You need fructose, sucrose. You need all of that. You're made of carbohydrate. You need carbohydrates. See how that works? Carbohydrate. Considering you are carbon-based, you do need to hydrate that carbon. Yes, you do need your sugars. Well, what kind are they? You think because it says high fructose corn syrup that, oh, that must be good. Yeah, that's good. It's got fructose right there in it. But see, the pancreas doesn't know how to react to high fructose corn syrup. It knows enough to know that it's a sugar, but because it's not one that it would naturally come into contact with, it's confusing. What happens is the pancreas isn't able to accurately and efficiently moderate the amount of insulin it gives or takes. Over time, this happening over and over and over and over and over again, pancreas starts to get weak. And then we turn around and we make that problem worse by doing things that make the body rely on the pancreas less. Yeah, I think most of you can get where I'm going with this. You see, then when the pancreas stops working, even those of you that weren't born with the type 1 diabetes, you've now developed type 2 diabetes. So we tell you that you need to eat this food, and you need to change this food, and all this other stuff. Never once addressing the problem. So do you think you get cured? No. But that's exactly what the system wants, because you see, folks, it's not about curing you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You're a statistic, a fucking number. The problem is, healthy people are not worth any money. And that's all anyone cares about. Don't let them lie to you either. You'll get those that will pretend that they're concerned about you and your health. But at the end of the day, not one single person gives a fuck about any of you. It's all the money. That's all they all care about. Why do you think there's businesses to begin with? As long as we keep addressing the symptom rather than the problem, it is not possible for the problem to lessen, and it damn sure isn't going to go away. You sit there and you attack people based on their differences, and then you justify those behaviors by saying that those differences are because that person is ill, and if you treat those problems, that it'll somehow be better for the other person. That's not the case. It's never looked at the why does the person have the so-called addiction? Why? Now, sometimes it's purely natural. A person goes to a doctor because his or her body receives an injury, and what does the doctor do? The same fucking thing again. The doctor addresses the symptom rather than the underlying cause of said symptom. And subsequently, the person then becomes reliant on more pharmaceuticals. Imagine that. A doctor getting someone addicted to pharmaceuticals. You have to go to a pharmacy to get the pharmaceuticals. You ever looked at that fucking staff of caduceus on the fucking billboard or the fucking sign advertising that pharmacy and wondered what the fuck that even means? You fucking silly dumbass sheep. You're that naive that you think it was ever about treating you. Your lamb's being led to slaughter. What's worse, it's just like all the attacks on me as of the last few years. You're attempting to kill one of the only things that ever gave a fuck about any of you. That's all right though. You know, I came here to die. I've told a lot of you all that, and I happily am honored to be the one that gets to do that. It's just sad that rather than learn, you all would choose an alternate route, and in which cases that's kill me to prove a point that you're ultimately, yes, proving my point for me. Mom, do you remember them conversations when I said, if you truly gave a fuck about me at all, you would stop this? I've told a few of you that. And what did I mean? Because I'm proving a point. You see, if it was about any kind of actual care, admiration, or compassion, I wouldn't have walked 3 fucking miles with a bone sticking out at the end of my toe. Nobody gave a fuck then. What about the friends that call you up and they say they're on their way, they'll be there in 20 minutes, and then they never show up and they never return your call? Are those really friends? No. You see, if I was addicted to anything, any person, any pleasure, any substance, then I would get the benefit or the enjoyment of the benefit of use of. If a man buys $100 worth of cocaine and the whores and the fucking users around him do his $100 worth of cocaine, does that mean that the man has an addiction, or does that mean that the people around him are narcissists or psychopathic parasites? And what's worse, or are you those that profit off of my loss and hardship? You see, for someone to have an addiction means that they have to first what? They have to have something to be addicted to. And I have always had nothing. I don't have friends. I don't have family. I don't have a place to call home. I don't even have any hope that in the future I'll have any of those things. And you have the fucking audacity to accuse anyone of being addicted to anything. Shame on all of you. That's why, if you notice, show me a time where I'm the one doing and reaping the fucking benefits of what I'm doing. Show me a time where I've done anything in my life that the world around me profited less from it than I did. And even my own mother got a fucking big badass TV and a big badass mixer when I lost my fucking computer in a house fire a year ago. What'd I get? I didn't even get an apology from my fucking landlord that called me from my hacked into YouTube channel that day. I keep asking for the truth, and I kept getting more lies, just like I got last night, just like I get every other day. And see, I said long ago that I was going to die to prove a point. And that if anyone in the fucking world knew what that meant, they would stop it. Instead, they reiterate the very point I made. You keep thinking that this so-called addiction, this monster that you've created, you can somehow fix it by doing the exact opposite of what every educational system, of what every spiritual doctrine on the planet teaches you. whether you believe in, whether you're a fucking Gnostic, an atheist, a fucking Christian, a fucking Muslim, a Buddha, a Buddhist, they all have a common denominator. And that's a message of love. Something that I have been shown the exact opposite of since I was born. That's why I'm going to be killed in public for no reason at all. To further reiterate, you all don't know how to love. You don't even have the capacity to show or feel love. And those of you that just like me get tired of not being wanted and not being loved, when you crawl under your little rock and people start flipping the rock over, even though they didn't give a fuck about you before you crawled under it, but now that you're under that rock, people want to flip over that rock. Hey, what are you doing under there under that rock? Leave me alone. You told me I didn't matter and I didn't care. I just want to be left alone. The minute you go onto that rock, people want to aggravate you and they want to start poking and prodding and fucking trying to rearrange what you do to get through the day. And they've even convinced you to the point that getting through the day, if you do it other than how they suggest, it means you've developed a new problem. Addiction. What the fuck does that even mean? Is a fat girl addicted to cupcakes? Yet, we create a world in which children starve. And when we feel bad and guilty that so many of kids close to us are starving, we give the women food stamps, and then we bitch and fucking scoff and fucking stamp our feet that they buy the only thing they can afford: cupcakes and Pepsis. And yet the kids are still hungry. Imagine that too. That's just a weird fucking coincidence. We are all a product of the world that we're creating. And when something or someone comes along to change your world, what do? Instead of being grateful, you do exactly what the fuck you always do. Oh, he's different, racist, he's, and you smash him. You crush him to the ground. He says he's killing himself for your sake. And you say, well, you're not doing it fast enough. You're fucking pathetic, all of you. Take a look in the fucking mirror. You sit there and you have the audacity to live in a world that profits off the starvation of children, that profits off the molestation of children, that profits off of the cannibalism of unborn fucking children. And you have a nerve to talk to me about addiction? About what I need? You further stick it in my ass when you fucking manipulate, con, lie, and cheat me? Do you really think for a second, if given the chance, I would let any of you live? Shame on all of you. I'm one of the few people I have ever met that devoted the entirety of his being to trying to help. If you want to talk about addiction, let's talk about your addiction to authoritarian, to being an authoritarian. You can't even manage your own fucking lives, yet you somehow think that you're fit to manage the lives of others. It's a disgrace. You're the ones that killed Jesus. I hope you know that. And all of you non-believers out there, look, yes, maybe the fucking Bible is spiritual doctrine that was allegorical. Maybe it was written in a parable style format. Yet those original fucking tablets contain more truth or knowledge than any of you motherfuckers care to admit. And rather than do your actual fucking homework and research the topics given in those fucking tablets, it's easier for you to be a naysayer and say, I don't believe in God. I don't believe it. No, that's not real. It's not real. Yet, learn the speed of light. Learn how to do the math to compute the speed of light. I tell you what, for you non-believers, it's right there in that fucking Bible. As is carbon, 666, the mark of a beast, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. There's your carbon for you. But I digress. This ain't a biblical conversation anyway. You sit there and you encourage a pattern of behavior. And when it doesn't suit you, you then ostracize it, kick it under the bus. Shame on y'all. What have any of you done for the world around you? I spend roughly 90% of my life informing or trying to inform others. The 10% that I guess should be mine, that's me spent running, trying to escape the pain and anguish that you all caused me. And it's always been that way. And then I don't seek nothing in return. I want to know myself better, and by knowing myself better, I figure I can devote more of myself to this world around me, and I can in turn do more. And ultimately, if I do enough, then maybe some change will occur. And rather than help me, you throw a fucking rock in front of my feet? You are fucking pathetic. And then you sit there and you profit off of it. If I did what my aunt and my mother did with the whole GoFundMe thing, I'd be in jail. They instead get pats on the back. My landlord, I came to you fucking years ago and told you about stuff coming up missing from my house, and what the fuck did you do, sir? Not a fucking thing. And you got the fucking nerve to come into my motherfucking face and talk about what you do and don't got? Fuck you. And you fake ass fucking whores out there. Did it ever occur to your dumb asses that maybe I just want somebody to talk to? No, because everybody's too caught up into battling addiction. Because that's the real problem. Let's prove that he's an addict and help him. Anytime he gets some, first off, we'll take it, we'll steal his money, we'll steal his dope, then we'll give him some fake dope in return, then we'll pretend like we're going to spend time with him just so that we can steal back the fake dope that we gave him, and then we'll tell him that he's got a problem called addiction, and we'll insert ways in which we mandate he has to treat it. You're fucking psychopaths, all of you. Well, I don't want to live in a world that you all get to run. I don't even, it disgusts me, truly. To the bottom of my heart, it disgusts me to know that after all I've suffered in the world, best case scenario, I'm still stuck living in this shit world that with you all. And that makes me sick because you all are fucking pathetic. I don't know. I try to escape. I've tried leaving. Well, y'all got that under control. I can't leave. So you wonder, so in a world such as this one, which is obviously sick, what other thing or what other habit can a person indulge in to even be granted some mental time off from this fucking world? How many hours did any of you spend working for Comcast for free in the year 2019 or the year 2020? I've got over 100 and something hours myself. Well, why would I do that? I mean, you know, after all, we allegedly have some kind of fucking account with Comcast. I'm not an employee. All of these are topics that no one cares about, because people love me and we love each other, and there's this big bad boogeyman called addiction and any drugs, any food, extra food stuffs, any clothes. What isn't stolen from me, I give away. And I do so happily and with a quickness. I wake up my so-called landlord the other day because he has to go to work, allegedly. First words out of his mouth, he needs a pair of socks. What do I do with my last fucking pair? I happily give them to him. Now, what's he done for me in exchange? Nothing. What do you think my mother's going to do when she gets home today other than treat me like shit? Nothing. Other than take advantage of me, steal from me, or use me. What do you think any of these so-called women are on Facebook going to do? Nothing. They won't even give me time of day for a conversation. And when they do, it's nothing but goddamn lies. And I'm the one with the problem? Yeah, my problem is that I live in a world full of evil people. And I'm a good person. I've done some bad things. I've done some things that were questionable. But I'm the only one that I've ever seen that isn't just willing to do for others, but does for others. You see, while you all talk about addiction, and you talk about geopolitics, and you talk about your presidential fucking campaigns and shit, I'm out here doing. You talk about the shit while I do it, and then you sit there and have the fucking nerve to throw rocks in front of me to make it harder on me. If I could live in this world, why would I want to? Why would anyone not kill themselves? Why wouldn't someone want to die as fast as fucking possible just to get away from you psychopaths? You're fucking hideous. You ugly motherfuckers. And I'm not talking about your fucking, whether or not you're aesthetically pleasing. I'm talking about the way you carry yourselves. You know nothing of honor. You know nothing of loyalty. You know nothing of respect. You know nothing of righteousness. Yet, in your fucking feeble fucking minds, you somehow think you're fit to stand in my presence, let alone fucking put fucking stuff in front of me to make me trip and fall? That's sad. You are addicted to that which was not yours to begin with. You have your own free will. You do not have my free will. You can throw whatever drones up there you want. You can go ahead and take the fucking money off this fucking piece of shit fucking debit card. I mean, after all, in a country where a disabled American veteran is expected to live on fucking $500 and fucking less than $600 a month, Fuck, I really don't even need your fucking shit anyway. I mean, after all, it's a regular fucking, man, I'm living like a rich man, don't you know? Fuck. You can have it all. I don't want none of it. Never did. I only wanted to do one thing and one thing alone. I wanted to make my world better. And you all are so goddamn hard-headed that you don't even know what the fucking problem is. There's been those of us like myself that have been working on the problems that afflict humanity for fucking eons. And you're still focusing on the superficial, trivial, non-issues. You fucking idiots. You wearing your mask today? You not wearing your mask today? What's it matter anyway? Because a lot of you still shop at a place called Walmart because you think it's a fucking store. You ain't even figured out where the fuck you shop at yet. And you gonna talk to me about a problem? And Fedbook or Book of Faces. Didn't DARPA wasn't DARPA paid to create some kind of program that could track all of the geographical metadata on every person, everywhere, all the time? And didn't DARPA agree to just dissolve said program at the exact same day that Facebook started trading on the stock market? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares, right? I'm just a fucking addict. You use words, you don't even know what the fuck they mean. How did you ever think that you could ever treat anything when you yourselves are the ones that are sick? You're sick because you would actually be that fucking self-righteous and fucking arrogant that you would attack and call it helping one of the only entities that's ever fucking been around that's truly tried to help you. I have given the entirety of my being to trying to help the world around me. I have done without everything always in an effort to help you all. And all you've done is persecute me for it. Well, it's pathetic. It's sad that you all are the very ones that are killing me. And rather than do like I've suggested, help me help you, or work with me, not against me, to get some more money in your fucking little me-we accounts or whatever the fuck, to get some more friend requests, to get some more invites, to get some more publicity, so that you could self-glamorize, you're actually, not only are you willing to, but you're actively killing me intentionally, just for attention. Shame on y'all. Shame on all of y'all. I hope you and your addictions do just fine. I look forward to one day really, really soon, when I can find a successful way to terminate my life, because it would fucking kill me, the prospect of having to live in a world with people